And so I invite you to turn within, to let go of anything, and to just relax and go within. Let us together take a deep, slow breath. And just realize that this breath is the only breath we have. This breath is the breathing into us of God's love. This breath is a divine expression of life coming from the source of all that ever was and all that ever will be. The one mind, the one body, the one heart, the living, breathing breath of the universe. I just soak it in. And I say thank you. Thank you, Mother, Father, God. Thank you, Universe. Thank you, Spirit, for such a great, great ride in Humanville. So happy to meditate with you this morning and to get in touch with the essence of love, that's in us and through us and around us, and recognize the truth that being aware and being conscious of self-love and learning to love ourselves unconditionally I am a part of God. God is in me, through me, and as me. When we're young, we're taught separation, and we come to believe it. But that's not the truth of who we are. Our job is to stay in touch with the truth that I am and we are one with the infinite love and generosity of God, the universe, the field, whatever we name our higher power. There is no separation. That would be the illusion. It's easy to see this and that, and to think of me and you. But I am, and we are, one in the great mind and the great heart of God. is no separation. There is no lack. There is no disturbance. There is no disease or ill health in the mind of God. We live and operate in an infinite field of intelligence and love. So today I remind us that our job is to remain conscious that we are an expression of God's love. And as we focus on our expression, my expression, your expression, I invite you to do random acts of conscious love. Today and throughout the week, hold eye contact with the person you're speaking with, just a second or two longer, and watch. You can change someone's day and their entire life just by demonstrating the connection of love within from you to them. And it makes the world a better place, a much friendlier place to live and play. I release this meditation, knowing it is so. And so it is. Center for Spiritual Living, Greater Las Vegas. At CSL Greater Las Vegas, it is our mission to inspire spiritual discovery through community connection, exploration, and celebration. Before we begin this celebration service, let's all join in and sing our opening song together. glorious Sunday morning. I'm Karen Dunphy, a licensed practitioner here at Center for Spiritual Living, Greater Las Vegas. And it's my pleasure to be here with you as we experience this uplifting celebration service together. Throughout this service, if you feel a need for prayer, a prayer and a blessing for you, a family member, or a friend, then please go to our website and select our prayer request. Know that licensed spiritual practitioners are deeply committed to supporting you through prayer. We are here for you. Please feel free to call on us. As a matter of fact, even as I speak, 2 practitioners are providing spiritual support right now for you, for me, for our entire community. They are holding us in deep spiritual loving care from their homes by sitting in meditation during this service. We thank Valerie Weiner and Debbie Little for holding high watch for each one of us today. And now, let us take a moment to consider this week's affirmation. You may wish to jot it down or take a picture of it and keep it with you as a source of inspiration throughout the week. I'll read the affirmation and then we'll enter into contemplation together, after which I will give the invocation. The universe loving itself is expressed as my self-love. The universe loving itself is expressed as my self-love.
God is, I am right here, right now, right here, right now. God is, I am. God is, I am right here, right now, right here, right now. God is, I am.
And so as we remain together in this beautiful service today, I invite you to return your focus back in where all is quiet and all is well. And just know that we are preparing for a great treat. We are going to experience a great service today with Reverend Laura. Everything you need to know, need to hear, need to feel will be delivered to you in some way, some fashion during this morning's message. And I know that right here and right now, we are in the presence of Spirit. No matter where you are, this love goes forth and ripples around the planet. And so it is.
God is, I am right here, right now, right here, right now. God is, I am.
I believe in you and me. I believe that we will be loved eternally. Well, as far as I can see, love will always be the one. yes it will. I believe in dreams again. I believe that love will never end. And like the river finds the sea, I was lost, now I'm free, because I believe in you and me. Love will never leave your side. Love will never hurt your pride. When all the chips are down, love will always be around, just to be right where you are. You have my love, all my love. Love will never leave you out. It will always let you in to places no one's ever been. Deep inside, can't you see that I believe in you and me? I know that I'm no fool to feel the way I do. We will share this life together, to laugh and love and dream forever. I believe in miracles, and love's a miracle. I know all our dreams will come true. I was lost, now I'm free, because I do believe in you and me. Said I was lost, now I'm free, because I believe in you and me. Oh yes I do. I believe in you and me.
Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to Center for Spiritual Living, Greater Las Vegas' Sunday morning celebration service. I'm Reverend Laura Hallett, and it is a joy to be back here with you again today. I'd like to thank each and every one of you who's joining us live this morning, and every one of you who is tuning in later to watch the rebroadcast of this service here on YouTube. Welcome. We broadcast our Sunday and Wednesday services on YouTube, as well as having some wonderful spiritual moments for you to partake of throughout the week. We have some fabulous short meditations by our practitioners, some uplifting spiritual soundscape by our music ministry, and other uplifting moments for you to get your spiritual nourishment throughout the week. Please take some time and explore our YouTube channel and see what we have to offer. I like to start each week with some gratitude. First off, to our amazing media team, consisting of Justin Vogel, Joe Blom, and Kelly Marshall. These folks bring all of their skills and talents to providing us with the beautiful and professional quality services we have each week. We really couldn't do it without them. And I want to thank our music ministry, Justin Vogel, Melissa Allen, David Villela, Mackenzie Amar, and other guest artists who support us with our spiritual inspiration in the form of music each week. And of course, I want to thank our practitioners who are in service with us here today. We have Karen Dunphy, who brought us the beautiful meditation and invocation this morning. And sitting high watch for us are Valerie Weiner and Debbie Little. And lastly, I'd like to thank our Leadership Council and all of the many volunteers who keep our center running. We are truly blessed by the contributions of all of these beloved individuals. Thank you. So here we are in July, kicking off a new month in our yearly theme of Living Everyday Wonder. Here at Centers for Spiritual Living, we've been exploring this idea of bringing more joy and wonder into our daily lives by looking at different life structures and the things that we can do to support these feelings of wonder as we move through our lives. So far this year, we've looked at our inner life, our bodies, our emotions, how we can be creative, and how we can bring more play into our lives. So here we are in July, and we're looking at our relationships. This week, we're going to start with our most fundamental, our most basic relationship of all, the relationship we have with ourselves. And so the talk title for this week is Me, Myself, and I. I like to anchor my talks each week with one of our basic spiritual principles or our core concepts. And so for this month, I've chosen one of the statements from our Declaration of Principles by our founder, Ernest Holmes. We believe in the individualization of spirit in us, and that all people are individualizations of the one spirit. The individualization of spirit. What exactly does that mean? Well, we believe that spirit, or God, or love, universal intelligence, whatever you want to call it, we believe that this thing itself is fully present in each and every one of its creations. That means it's fully present in me, it's fully present in you, it is fully present in all of the people in our lives, it is fully present in those that we do not know, it is fully present in our beloved pets, and the animals that inhabit this earth. It is fully present in the mountains that surround our valley. And it is fully present in the tiniest grains of sand beneath our feet. And because spirit is fully formed in each and every one of us, we know that we must be an integral part of it. It is in us. We are part of it. It's just like the single drop of water is fully a part of an ocean. Everything within that one drop contains the essence of the ocean. And most often it's indistinguishable from the ocean. And even if we extract that one drop of water, physically remove it from the ocean itself, its very nature can never be separated from it. There is no way to separate it and make it not ocean anymore, or not water anymore. Its very nature is totally intertwined with the entirety of the ocean. So each one of us is the individualization of spirit, and all of us are an integral part of it. Spirit and each one of us individually and collectively coexist in a relationship that transcends time and space. It transcends this physical form that we're inhabiting right now. And it is impossible for us to exist outside of this relationship that we have with that indwelling presence. And whether we recognize that internalized, individualized spirit within us, we're still in relationship with it too. There's no getting around it. We don't have to acknowledge it for it to be existing within us. Spirit doesn't care, but spirit is always there. This holds true for some of our other relationships with other forms of creation. You know, even if we really don't like other people and we don't want to spend any time with them, we can't get past the fact that we are in relationship with them. That things that are happening in our world coexist because there are other people around us. I don't believe that there's a way to truly be isolated from everyone. We could go and become that hermit living in the cave in the mountain, and yet we're still in relationship with the cave, with the mountain, with the weather, with the things that we ingest to keep us alive, with the air we breathe. It is impossible for us to exist outside of relationship with other things, with other creation. And so our most fundamental relationship, the one that we can never escape from, is that relationship we have with ourselves. This primary relationship we have, this one with ourselves, has so many different facets and dynamics to it. And so much has gone into the formation of it. There are so many things that have happened in our lives that shape our self-concept, our self-identity, the beliefs about who we are. These are things that we often don't even know are active in our lives, and yet they are so fundamental to our very personality that we can't escape from them. These events and situations that are part of our understanding of ourselves never occur in isolation. Yes, we are independent beings, but everything about us is interdependent with the people, with the situations, with the reality of our world. And of course, we are totally and completely interdependent with the source of all, that indwelling presence that brought us into existence and maintains and sustains us at all times. And it seems no matter how long we try to free ourselves from the influences of those with whom we've been in relationship with, the effects of them still linger. We can do all of the spiritual work necessary to heal ourselves from the pain or the trauma of these relational situations, and we can free ourselves from the effects of them to where they no longer have a hold on us. And yet they are still a profound influence on who each one of us has individually become. Because all of our experiences in our lives have shaped us and created the person that we are today. One of my favorite passages from our Science of Mind textbook is written by our founder, Ernest Holmes. It's found right at the very beginning. It's on the first page of the first chapter. He writes, "The divine plan is one of freedom. Bondage is not God ordained. Freedom is the birthright of every living soul. All instinctively feel this. The truth points to freedom under the law. Thus our inherent nature is forever seeking to express itself in terms of freedom. We shall do well to listen to this inner voice, for it tells us of a life wonderful in its scope, a love beyond our fondest dreams, of a freedom the soul craves." The divine plan is one of freedom. Bondage is not God ordained, and freedom is the birthright of every living soul. Essentially, we are free. We're free to choose. We're free to live the way we want to. Free to be in relationship with those we choose to be. Or are we? Our freedom is also interdependent. We don't exist in isolation. We are in relationship with people around us, with different communities and groups in which we participate, and with the society in which we live. This weekend, here in the United States, we are celebrating the signing of a document declaring our freedom from an oppressive government. Near the very beginning is a statement that says, "We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness." I'm sure everyone that has gone to school in the United States has certainly heard that passage before and interpreted it in the way that works for them. Now, I'm pretty sure that the intentions of the men who wrote these words were pure, that they really believed in their hearts and minds what they were saying when they wrote, "All men are created equal." I think their intentions were good. And then I remember that some of these men who drafted this document were people who enslaved other people for their own benefit, who did not consider these others to be equal. That part about all men being created equal seems to only work when it fits their definition of man. As a woman, I could overlook the use of the term man because I assumed they were referring to all humankind. I would think of it as a product of the time, similar to how I react when I read some of the gender-specific terms in many of Ernest Holmes' books that he wrote in the early 1900s. That was the way people wrote in the days. They used man to refer to everyone. But then I remember that the majority of men, especially at the time of the writing of the Declaration of Independence, believed that they had the right to control women in their lives. They had total control over the women because they did not think the women were capable of self-determination and therefore certainly not equal to men. All men are created equal. In many ways we've evolved a lot since 1776. But even now, we don't exist in relationship only to ourselves. What happens in our lives, what freedoms we get to experience, is also dependent upon the relationships around us. All of the relationships. Just in my lifetime, in this short period in human history, I have been granted some fundamental freedoms that many people could only ever dream of experiencing. In 1973, I was given the right to determine what happened in my body. Last week, that right was taken away by the highest court in our land, on a federal level. That freedom to determine what happens in my own body. And another freedom that I was granted 7 years ago, the freedom to choose who I wish to marry, is currently being threatened. My freedoms exist in relationship to the situation and the people around me. We do not exist in isolation. We don't exist in only relationship to ourselves. What happens in our lives is also determined by the relationships we have with others, with our society, and the world in which we live. My freedoms exist. The true freedom that I have exists in how I choose to respond to the events around me. Again, I don't exist in relationship only to myself. I have an intimate relationship with the God of my own understanding, with that indwelling presence, that eternal life force that is moving through me at all times. That is a fundamental and primary relationship for me. But I'm also in relationship to the society in which I live. And every moment I have a choice. I have a freedom, if you will, to decide how I'm going to respond to the situations around me. Every moment I have the right to decide how I will let these events affect me. Other factors outside of my control may determine what I experience. But I get to determine how I view it, how I respond to it, how I react to it. Our souls are on a continuous path of evolution. We have incarnated in this form at this time, and we are experiencing events in a way that is personal to each one of us. It would be absolutely inappropriate for me to choose how someone else should respond to the circumstances in their lives. For each one of us has the individual right to decide how we let these experiences affect us. And it would be equally inappropriate for me to judge someone else's response to it. Right here and right now, each one of us is the individualization of spirit, and it is showing up uniquely and perfectly as each and every one of us. I don't believe that the events in our lives are predetermined, that there's some grand master plan of how things have to happen. But I do believe that there is a divine plan of freedom, and that each one of us is on a continual spiral of evolution, and that we are ever moving upward toward that ultimate goal of freedom. And I think how quickly we experience that goal of freedom is often dependent upon how we react to the circumstances in our lives on a daily basis. One of the people I love to read is Joel Goldsmith, and he says that we know we have evolved when we respond differently to the circumstances in our lives. And we can determine how far that evolution has gone by the way that we respond to it. In his book, Conversations with God, Neil Donald Walsh writes, "The soul has come to the body, and the body to life for the purpose of evolution. You are evolving, you are becoming, and you are reusing your relationship with everything to decide what you are becoming. This is the job you came here to do." How fortunate it is that each and every moment we have an opportunity to decide what it is we are becoming. If we think back over our lives, no matter how long it has been, we can see how we have shifted and changed and evolved. And hopefully we can see that evolution is on an upward trajectory. That's the work that we've been called here to do. We have been called to be that individualization of spirit, to show up as spirit in our own unique way. And each one of us is in this inseparable relationship with that indwelling presence. And that relationship is also affected by the things around us, the people and the circumstances and the places that we live and the things that we get to do and experience. Everything in our life affects how we see ourselves and how we determine that relationship that we have with ourselves. So one of our tasks that we have each and every moment is to take the best care of ourselves we possibly can. This idea of self-care, I think sometimes I get a little worked up about it. I have a tendency to overreact when people tell me I'm not doing enough self-care. But there is something very critical about taking the time to reflect on our lives, to reflect on what it is that's happening in our lives, to reflect on the relationship we have with spirit, the relationship that we have with ourselves, this me, myself, and I. Who am I? What's my place in this world? How does it work? And what is affecting how I think about it? Then after we've looked at that, we can begin to examine some of the other relationships that we have in our lives and see how each one of these relationships is a process of our evolution. We experience people, I love the phrase, people come into our lives for a reason, a season, or a lifetime. And it's really an interesting thing to take a look at what it is we are experiencing and why we're experiencing it and what it is about it that is for our highest and greatest good. Because I believe that everything we experience is for our highest and greatest good, even when I don't like it. Even when I'm very upset about it, I believe that there's something in there for me to learn, some way for me to evolve, some way to allow myself to grow spiritually and move further and further upward on that spiral of evolution. We are really come here to evolve. And each time we incarnate in a form here on earth, whether it's a human body like we have right now or whatever else we might decide to do, I believe that we're here to experience life and that form for the evolution of our soul. And that our soul is continually wanting to experience more and more so that it can evolve more and more. I don't know that there's ever an end to this evolution, but I know that there's always a next step. There's always something else greater out there for us. And so this is really high and holy work that we are called to do here. And as I said before, it's what we've come here to do. To be that place, to be in relationship with spirit, to be in relationship with other people, other forms of creation, to be in relationship with the collective society into which we are born, even when we disagree with it, to be in relationship with our planet and all of its inhabitants, the animate and the inanimate. Everything is part of creation. Everything is an individualization of spirit, that one individualized form of spirit that is showing up perfectly just the way that it is. We have a relationship with ourselves, but we do not exist in isolation. And how we choose to move through this evolution, this current evolution of our souls, determines the amount of freedom that we're going to experience. The divine plan is one of freedom. Bondage is not God ordained. And we, every single being, every single form of creation, has the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. At every moment of our existence, we have the freedom to choose how we experience it and how we respond to it. And so for this holiday weekend here in the United States, I encourage you to find the right and appropriate way for you to experience your freedom to its fullest extent. After all, it is our God-given right. Have a great weekend, everyone. And so let's take this into prayer. And in doing so, we just simply turn within to that individualization of spirit that is showing up perfectly and uniquely as each and every one of us. I know that there is only this one power, this one presence, this divine creative source of all that has brought each one of us into existence, that maintains and sustains us throughout our entire existence. I know that nothing resides outside of this one, that it is the fullness and the allness and the wholeness of all creation. And because I know that there is only one, I know that I am one with it. That all that I am is that individualization of spirit. The very breath I take is God breathing through me. Every atom and molecule of my being is a complete representation of the individualization of spirit. Because I know this is true for me, I know this is true for all creation, that each one of us is perfect in our own right, divinely connected and uniquely formed. And so knowing this, I speak my word. I know that right here and right now, as that individualized representation of the one, I am endowed with all that it is, with that inherent freedom to be who I am, to choose how to live, to do what I want to do, to bring about the life I want to create. I know this is the inherent right of all creation, that each one of us is endowed with these unalienable rights of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. It is the very nature of who we are, and it can never be taken away. No matter what circumstances change, these rights are fundamental to who and what we are. And I know that as we awaken to the truth of this, that it spreads out from us to where all beings experience the same fundamental rights as each one of us. That there is an inherent simplicity to the idea of freedom that is moving itself into expression right here and right now, in each one of us individually, in our community, in our countries, and in our world. This cry for freedom will not go unheard. It is manifesting itself right here and right now. And I just give great thanks for this. I'm so grateful to know it, I'm so grateful to feel it, and I'm so grateful to see it happening in the world around me. And I release this word into the law that always says yes, that knows no limits, that has that undeniable, divine plan of freedom. I let it go, and I let it be. And so it is. Amen.
Here at Center for Spiritual Living Greater Las Vegas, we are a mission and vision-driven community. We offer transformative educational opportunities, deep and meaningful moments of connection, uplifting Wednesday and Sunday services. We greatly appreciate your contributions that support the amazing work we're doing here in Southern Nevada. We have several easy ways you can contribute. We have text to give. Simply text the amount of your donation to our text to give number and you'll be prompted to enter your information. There's a link to our online donation page posted below this video where you can contribute by debit or credit card. And of course, you're always welcome to send a check to our office if that works better for you. All of your contributions go to support the great work that we're doing here in Greater Las Vegas community.
It's like God throwing pebbles at your window. Go on by and open it this time. Start a fire for the gratitude to follow. You're alive once you open your eyes. We are bound to uncover our like God throwing pebbles at your window. Go on by and open it this time. From Egypt to Homer, I'll take you through all the unspoken fog that made you the fire angels that won't forsake you. From Egypt to Homer, I'll take you, take you. It's like God throwing pebbles pebbles at your window, window, window. It's like God throwing pebbles at your window, window. It's like God throwing pebbles at your window.
Thank you, Nadine. You always inspire and uplift us with your talent. And thank you for your generous gift in support of our center. We remain committed to serving you. Center for Spiritual Living Greater Las Vegas continues to provide enriching services, transformative classes, and powerful opportunities for connection within our community. Be sure to watch the announcements at the end of today's service for what's coming up in the weeks ahead. And now, let us all join together in our closing song and benediction.
Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. Thank you for my friends, Spirit. Thank you for my friends. Thank you for my friends, Spirit. Thank you for my friends. My wonderful, wonderful, wonderful friends. My wonderful, wonderful, wonderful friends. Thank you for this life, Spirit. Thank you for this life. Thank you for this life, Spirit. Thank you for this life. My wonderful, wonderful, wonderful life. My wonderful, wonderful, wonderful life. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. This beautiful, beautiful, beautiful day. This beautiful, beautiful, beautiful day.
And so as we close this morning, I'd like to remind you of a few things that are happening here in our community. We have a couple of great workshops coming up in the month of July. On July 17th, we have Kelly Marshall with her Vision Board workshop, which has been reimagined and extended. And it's really going to be a phenomenal experience. And I know she has some free gifts for you as participants in this. It's going to be held in person at one of our local libraries. All of the information is on our website and in our e-blast and newsletter, so you can find out more about that. And then on July 30th, we have Reverend Dr. Melissa Felipe and Reverend Z. Egloff back with us again to bring you their Enneagram experience. The Enneagram is a phenomenal tool for dealing with relationships. So I thought for the month of July, this is couldn't be better to have it. So if you want to look at the relationship you have with yourself and the relationship you have with other people in your lives, those that are pleasant to be around and those that are not so pleasant, this is a great tool to help you get a little clearer understanding of all of the intricacies that go along with being in relationship. And Melissa and Z will also be doing our Sunday message and music on July 31st, so we're so excited to have them back with us. You can check out our website for more information about all of this. And we have we are making plans to bring our community back together in person. We have our building in process right now. We're currently waiting for the permits. It looks like it'll probably be near the end of the year before we're able to get into the building, but we don't want to continue not being able to meet in person more often. So currently right now we have August 20th as our next in-person service. It's the third Sunday in August, and we will be meeting at our new building in the parking lot again. So stay tuned for information about that, and stay tuned for the information about the ongoing in-person services that will be happening in the fall. We so look forward to being back with you in community, in a more personal way than we've been able to do online. But online has been phenomenal and has kept this community going for these last 2.5, 3 years. So we are so grateful for the technology and the consciousness and all of the talent that has made these services possible for you. So again, I hope you enjoy your 4th of July weekend, and we look forward to seeing you in person soon. Have a great week. Bye-bye.
The monthly publication, Science of Mind magazine, is a treasure to be read and contemplated. Along with in-depth articles, there is a day-to-day spiritual support to be gleaned from its daily guides. Licensed practitioner Lynn Frankenberger hosts Adventures in Faith every Tuesday at 11 a.m. on Zoom, and you're invited to join in. This is a weekly group discussion that focuses on those daily guides and how to apply them. Check Facebook and our weekly newsletter for more details. CSL Greater Las Vegas brings you much of your favorite spiritual music every Friday at 7 p.m. with Spiritual Soundscapes. Enjoy performances from CSLGLV vocalists along with special guest singers. It's music for your soul. Subscribe to the CSLGLV YouTube channel to get a convenient link sent to you for each musical performance. At CSL Greater Las Vegas, it is our mission to inspire spiritual discovery through